Okay, we're going to be unboxing the Moto G8 Power Lite today. So we've gone for a 64 gig version. Now I like this fact that on the box, straight out the gate, I don't know if you can see that, there you go. It tells you how much space is going to be available on the phone, not just the 64 gig, but you're down to 48 gig with the operating system and some of the apps installed. I've gone for the royal blue colour, and that's about it really. So let's have a look, see what's in the box. Okay. So what's interesting there is that they actually ship it with a case. So you can see you've got a clear plastic case, bumper case around there, and that gradient royal blue. Comes with this screen film, pick it at the corner. There we go. So there's a SIM card slot in there, you can just about see it. Yeah. 3.5mm headphone jack at the top. Yay. A standard USB, not USB-C connector at the bottom there, and the mic. Power button and volume controls. Speaker at the back. Now we've got a few cameras. So you've got a 16 megapixel main wide angle lens camera, and then a couple of others. One is a 2 megapixel macro lens, and the other is another 2 megapixel depth lens. You've got an LED flash in there, and it will record video at 1080p at 30 frames a second, so not exactly fantastic by these today's standards, but this is a budget phone. It cost about £140, middle of 2020. Okay, let's boot this up and have a little play.
Hello, Moto.
Okay, now it's finally set up. It's downloaded updates in the background. It didn't take too long, wasn't too painful. Interesting that you've got the slight notch design there with the forward-facing camera. So that selfie camera is a 8 megapixel camera, f2.0. Let's have a look. So let's go into the apps drawer. All feels quite responsive. Yep. So this has 4 gig of memory. So hopefully that will mean that switching between apps isn't too painful. Now let's have a look in the Play Store. Like I say, it's quite responsive and everything for a budget phone, not bad. Behaving pretty much as I would hope for. Like I said before, it's nice to have this case around it. It's quite nice that it comes in the box rather than having to buy an additional case. Now I nearly did buy one, didn't realise it was in the box. Oh, and we didn't have a look what was in the rest of the box. Let's have a look now. All right, so there's a pull-out tab. Okay, so you've got a README. About how to insert the SIM card. So there's not a lot of information there before you start going into other languages. It gives you an idea of how heavy this is. So it's 200 grams. Doesn't feel heavy, but it doesn't feel too light either. Now it's a plastic casing on the back, not glass, which I actually prefer. If you're going to drop it, glass is much more likely to break on the back. than having a plastic shell, so I much prefer that. That's it for that manual there. We get a SIM card prodder, so that opens a little drawer to allow you to put the SIM card in. Oh, and then some legal rubbish there. So let's have a look, see what else was in there. Get back in the bottom there. Okay, so we've got standard power adapter for the UK. It's quite a nice compact one, I have to say. Ooh, like that. I'm gonna have to change that ringtone. I think that was an email notification or a Google account alert. So yeah, let's have a look, see the power rating on that, if we can. Okay, so that's a 2 amp power supply for the phone. Hopefully we'll charge the phone quite quickly. And then just the USB cable. One thing to note is it does have, well, depending on the model that you've chosen, there is a dual SIM option. That's not what I've got here, but the tray does include an area for you to put in a micro SD card, so you can expand your memory. That's kind of useful if you are running out of room and you're recording a lot of video. You can expand that into that SD card, which is better in my opinion than getting a more expensive version of the phone with more built-in memory. It ships with Android 9. And I think it's worth bearing in mind that this screen is, the display density is not bad. It is 270 ppi. And the screen resolution is 720 by 1600. So it's not like it's a 1080p display like some phones. It feels responsive enough at the moment. So in general, for the price, I'm happy with this. My son's going to get this for his birthday, and I think he'd be happy with this. It's pretty large, should be good for some gaming, limited, but if you are well into your gaming, I wouldn't say necessarily that this is the phone for you. I would look carefully at other brands that are maybe more high spec on the processor. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Hope this was useful. You got to see what was in the box and maybe a little bit about how the phone performs as we just swapped through some of the built-in apps. There's not a lot of rubbish on here. Some phones come loaded with junk from the vendor. This seems like it's relatively light on the ground, so that is good. Google Pay is included. Now that's interesting because I don't think this has NFC support. So I'd be interested to know whether that actually does work with a card that you add. So I'll have to give that a go and let you know in the description. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.